me any. I was confident in this team and the group we had before that.
How much of the way people perceived Alex was about where he is? I mean, if he had done what he did last year, wouldn't at most schools people be excited that he was coming back, not wondering, is this kid going to fall flat on his face?
Because the standards here are higher, and that's why kids come here. And he has nothing to do with anything other than now you got a competitive spirit going, because it's you and a guy every day at practice. And it's going to bring out the best in him. Believe me, he wants to do well. I don't believe I can tell individuals if they got a 4.0. I can't say those things. So, but he did well academically. I mean, he is a conscientious kid. This overwhelmed him. It overwhelmed him. You think of yourself, if I put you in there, it wouldn't overwhelm you? There are kids that come here that take longer. I mean, I always say, it doesn't matter to me if you take 1, 2, 3, or 4 years. Does it really matter? I just want you to get it so you're ready to go on and have success. Some kids, Terrence Jones, it took 2 years. Darius took 4 years. Now you look at Darius, do you know what they say? Anthony Davis told me, Coach, you won't believe this. We play Darius Miller as a stopper on defense. Think about that. So, he's tougher now. He's more aggressive. I watched him in the gym in there. He makes every shot now. Well, he was now ready to go on to have success. 1 year, 2 year, 3 year. Alex, it's taken a little more time. And if it takes another year, what's the problem? What if it takes him 3 or 4 years? What's the problem? Well, we're not on the 25-year-old model here, and if you don't make it in 2 or 3 years, what's wrong with you? What? The only kids held to that standard are here. Probably we've done it to ourselves, but...
Now you're 4 years into this, you've had a lot of former players coming back in the summer. Do you expect a lot of those guys to come back this summer? And if so, how much will the ability to play pick up with those guys when your new guys get here, give them maybe a jump start of sorts?
Well, they're probably going to get on these guys they don't want to go through what last year meant to them. You have to understand, in the NBA or in their workplaces, everyone knows they went to Kentucky or played at Kentucky. Everyone knows. Everyone in the building is hoping Kentucky loses so they can go up to that guy and say, how you boys doing? You want to, what do you think's going to happen next year? That guy did it. Well, those guys want none of that. So they're going to come back and probably challenge these guys. You have an obligation. The history and tradition of this place, understand what it means. And that would be great for our guys coming back. When we do the fantasy experience, we're going to probably have a bunch of those guys back and do something that we'll announce later. The camps are as crazy as ever. Doing satellite camps around the state. I think the overnight camp's just about sold out. I think that the satellite camps, the father-son is crazy. The pro camps are, it's all, but that's where we bring those guys. The fantasy experience will do something. We have some fun things, not ready to announce them yet, but there's some things we're going to do with former players that I think that, our fans will go nuts over. During that stuff's in September. But I think it's great for them to come back. It's more or less, do you understand what it means to be here and what you're going to have to do? When Anthony and Michael can take the 5th and 4th most shots, does it really matter how many times you shoot the ball? Well, 1 and 2 pick in the draft. What's your deal? You want to get 20 shots in a game, or are you worried more about your growth as a player to put you in a position to do special things? Those are great lessons when those guys come back.
How many incoming guys said, before the McDonald's game, they thought they were so competitive, they could see themselves fighting each other?
Yeah, I've had that in teams, and it's the thing is when they walk off the court, it's got to end right there. And I've had teams that laugh about it when practice is over and hard screen somebody, the guy comes up, pushing and shoving, and it has to be broken up. Yeah, there's a competitive spirit, and I think what it does is it'll drag us to where we're trying to go. I'm going to tell you, 2 years ago, we did not have a bad practice, not one. So that led us to building a swagger and a confident level that we knew we could win every game we play. We just, let's be at our best, and if we weren't and someone got us, fine, next game.
What does Andrew Harrison bring as a point guard? You've had different types, all successful. What does he bring to it?
Great size, great ability to get to the rim, great skill level with the ball, has a mentality of a point guard where he'll get everybody involved. But again, we've got to learn more. I've got to get him here and say, okay, what is exactly the best way for him to play? Because your point guard's got to score also, which he does. I think the dribble, drive, and pick and roll for him, he plays with great pace already. It's really going to be good for him.
Couple more questions. I want to call it when the non-conference established, is something the hard deal playing.
Well, again, Bill, you know what kind of legacy he left here. Selflessness. He was about everybody else. Could make anybody in the room feel like he was his best friend. And I think we just, keeping that legacy going. The history of this program for our fans, I love the fact that Coach Hall has a statue out front. I think, that Coach Rupp is revered the way he is here. It should be. This is one of those kind of programs. So.
Cal, what advice did you give Archie when he was making the decision on it?
We gave him the information, what was out there, what we were told. We sat down and talked to him, and he came back and said, I want to put my name in the draft. We said, great, let's go for it. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and give you everything that I said or my opinion, because I don't think it's fair, but, they get everything they need, and whatever decision they make. You want to come back, great. You want to go, great, let's make this work. I've been on the phone right now with probably 5 or 6 NBA teams about Archie. You think about it. Basically, if you draft him, he's 18 years old. You're getting a high school player. The old days when the high school player could come out. That's what you're getting. So you may have players in their draft that are 4 years older than him. Think about what I'm saying. 3 years older than him. The whole point with him is, where do you project it? Now, would it have been better for him and maybe us if I had played him at point from the start of the year? Maybe. Maybe, but you know what? At his age, they're going to have a chance to mold him as a wing guard, a point guard, whatever they want him to be. Workouts will be important for him, but I think he'll be fine, because he's just, if you have a good attitude and you truly have a huge work capacity, like a Brandon Knight or like Archie, you're going to be fine. Now, there may be bumps in the road and all that. You will be fine. So he'll be fine. Someone's going to take him in a good position, and he'll be fine.
Thanks, Coach.